Hi folks, RAYDVD here on Michael Caine week, and today I'm not actually going to do a review. I'm just actually going to speak about Michael Caine and about his career and what I think in his as an actor and stuff. So just to recap, Big Al, he did a review on Get Carter, which is one of the most iconic Michael Caine films, you know, and EJ done Secondhand Lines, the Robert Duvall film. I haven't actually seen it, but it sounds pretty interesting, so I think I might try and see that one in the future. So I was brought up basically in the 1980s. That was when my era was for watching films and stuff, when that first began, and I wasn't really into Michael Caine then, you know. His career began in the 60s and 70s, and at that time he was making films such as all the Harry Palmer films, you know, stuff like the Ipcris File, Funeral in Berlin, $1 Billion Brain. So these were like James Bond films, but they were more cerebral, so I think they were a bit more adult orientated, so I think that's what put me off them. You know, Michael Caine, he's I wouldn't say he was an action sort of actor. He's more a guy who sort of epitomises stillness. You know, everything's internal him. You didn't get a lot of expression in his face and stuff, but you can see that his mind's working, and everything is sort of, like I say, is internalised. And I think that's why maybe a younger generation didn't really like them sort of films at the time. Into this, he also made, of course, in the 60s as well, he made Alfie, which was a huge hit as well. And then in the 70s he made The Italian Job, you know, another iconic film where he was you know, you see the posters and everything. He became like an icon for coolness and stuff. And he had a couple of war parts, like in Battle of Britain and A Bridge Too Far, which were pretty good, but it was like, you know, it was an all-star cast, these films. And then The Man Who Would Be King, he would co-star with Sean Connery, be directed by John Huston, based on the Rudyard Kipling story. So in the 60s and the 70s, this was sort of his first era, you know. This was the beginning of his career. He became an icon, you know. He was the epitome of cool, of British cool, and his career was on the up and up and up. Into the 80s, you know, he was making like Woody Allen films, and these were good, you know. He made that sort of film that were sort of critically acclaimed, and he would also make a lot of sort of guff, like The Swarm, The Poseidon Adventure. And then this was like it says in the 80s, this was when I started watching VHS tapes and stuff. And the film I remember him in was a film called The Island, where it was like based on modern day pirates. He would I think he was a writer or something, then he gets captured by pirates and he's trying to escape this island and stuff. So that was my first sort of thinking, oh yeah, this guy's he's a pretty good actor, although probably watch the film now, it's pretty cheesy. He would make, like I says, he was making a lot of Woody Allen films at the time, so he had that sort of critical films that he was making, but he also had films that were like utter guff, you know, Blame It on Rio, Jaws the Revenge and stuff. And then he would make the odd sort of good film as well. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was another fantastic film, you know, with Steve Martin. So that was his sort of middle bit of his career, and you know, it was okay, but it was like a bit of a mixed bunch and that. And then into the 90s and the 2000s, he was starting to think about retiring and stuff, but he would make a couple of Muppet movies, which no, they were really, you can't go wrong with a Muppet movie, you know. They're good fun and stuff. And then him and Christopher Nolan began a great collaboration. You know, he would star in the three Batman films. You know, Christopher Nolan was obviously a huge fan of Michael Caine, and he did the part of Albert fantastic in that. And you know, that's when I began to realise how good an actor he was. So he was, you know, he was coming to the tail end of his career, and he was thinking about retiring, so he was picking his films a bit more better, and obviously the writing was getting better as well at this point. And then he would, like I said, he made the Dark Knight films. The Prestige was another great film, Christopher Nolan. He played a great part in that as well. And then only a couple of years ago he starred in one of his best performances in his entire career, in my opinion. That was Harry Brown, which I think Scott's maybe going to review during the week, so I'm really looking forward to that, because Scott's like he can do reviews like he's the best on your channel. I think other guys would say that as well, you know. And so yeah, he's had an interesting career, Michael Caine. So it'd be interesting to go back and watch some of his films from the 60s again, just to see how good they were then. Now that I've got this sort of adult viewpoint, I can actually work out what the films are about and stuff. So that's my sort of Michael Caine review of his sort of career and stuff. So thanks for watching. Look out for the rest of the guys' reviews during the week. I'm sure they'll be better than this. And subscribe and leave some comments.